Alright, I'd like to call our August 17th, 2022 Land and Facilities Management Committee meeting to order. Roll call, please.
Mr. Plaisance.
Here.
Mr. Bernard.
Here.
Ms. Bourgeois.
Here.
Mr. Buttery.
Here.
Mr. LaFont. Mr. Schwess.
Here.
Ms. Thomas.
Three
Got a little
seconds.
delayed reaction.
Clean those glasses. That's a little.
There you go. Alright, let's move on. 2. Road Florida Depository. We have Mr. Andy Depository here. And before we do, we're going to introduce our Mr. Depository, our new Land and Facilities Secretary, Ashley Anderson. Congratulations on your new position. All right, Mr. Depository, ready? A, to receive a report from Andy Depository on the new Thibodeau Middle School. Mr. Depository.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Brief report. I think information that I have to share is contract sum is still $28,464,000. We have paid to date a little over 47% of that contract sum, or just over $13.5 million. And a quick review of the contract time. The current completion date is June 9th of 2024. Now that's the entire project. And we have expended, or the contractors expended, a little over 38% of that contract time. So if you've ridden by there lately, it is, despite all the rain we've been getting, they are still working diligently and hard. The structural steel is all complete and up. They've been making a big push with metal stud installation, CMU blocks, masonry installation. You'll notice that purple board on the outside, that's the wall board on the exterior of the building, and they've got the roof, the first layer of roof installed on the 2 single-story classroom wings and the second floor portion. So we had a monthly meeting out there on site today. One of the things that we really reviewed in detail is the current schedule that they are following, and I'm happy to report that they are still on track to finish the new construction. Yeah, I have to commend Thompson for working in spite of all the rain that we've been getting. They have still been making a big push to get stay on schedule. So that's the biggest informational part. We do have a few change orders, but I'll turn it back over to you.
Anyone have any questions? Comments? It's pretty impressive building. It's coming along.
It's big. It seems like it gets bigger every time I go.
Yeah, it's big. B, to consider a change order request for 21 additional days for the contract due to inclement weather for the month of July 2022. And take a go for that.
Okay. Thank you again. Again, this is something we come to you with every month. This tonight's request is for the rain days from July. It was a net increase of 21 days, and again, they submit detailed daily documentation when it rains or when the site was too muddy to work around the building. So we've reviewed that, and we do recommend an additional 21 days be added to the contract for July of 2022.
In agreement with that, so the recommended action will be to approve a change order request for 21 additional days due to the contract due to inclement weather at Thibodeau Middle School.
That one from Mr. Bernard, seconded by Mr. Schwess. Any board comments?
In honor of our absent member, Mr. LaFont, I need to ask a question about rain days. Does that mean they only work 10 days in July?
So they work them all.
Okay.
As many as they could. They are contractually obligated, as you know.
I had to ask.
So
the fall thank you. I think he's calling in. Hold on. I was going to say he just sent me a text.
It's we had enough rain for July. It was pretty sloppy out there, so wow. Pretty much almost every day we had some amount of rain.
I'll tell you what, this is an impressive picture just to show the amount of problems they would have. 21 days, definitely.
This picture right here,
yes,
basically was the only entrance into the building. Get mortar and blocks inside the building.
Unbelievable.
And there was nothing but slush.
Drone photos on Sunday, and it looked like a moat around there.
Right, and I'll give them credit. Instead of just lay in there and say, well, we can't get there. What they did, they hauled in sand, lots of sand, and said, we need to get in this place. So I'll give them credit. Anyone else from the board? Any comments from the public? All right, if not, we'll go ahead and vote. C, to consider a change order request, one, as required by the LA State Fire Marshal's Office, and to add 15 additional days for the contract. Two, to consider a change order request to add waterproofing products and modifications to the contract. You want to go ahead and do this?
I can, yes, sir. I'll take the fire marshal stuff first. So when we submitted drawings to the fire marshal over a year ago, they sent comments back as they typically do. We had some modifications that we needed to make before they granted final approval. We made those changes architecturally. It involved the interior stair, separating that from the second floor elevator lobby, and then we had to add a little small exit corridor over by the weight room and shower area. And so we turned around our architectural drawings. The mechanical and electrical modifications didn't come until later once we got approval. And so we went through that redesign process. The contractor priced everything up. We got that pricing back. The number of the amount, I should say, of the change order is actually $85,584. But within the contract sum, we have a total of $320,000 of allowances that we can use if we need to. And so what we're proposing to do with this amount is, one of those items is a $50,000 landscape allowance that we thought we might need early in the job. We're recommending that we use that allowance money to offset this cost and thereby have a net increase of the $35,584 for that item. The second item is the waterproofing material. There's a few items in the contract that are called to be owner-provided items, and that's typical in a lot of your contracts. Flooring is typically done. In this particular job, we originally had waterproofing as an owner-provided item.
This item was on the state contract at the time of design and bidding. Since then, Sherwin-Williams lost the state contract, so I lost the ability to purchase the material on the state contract. So we had to go out and get contractors to provide the material.
So we're just, instead of it being an owner-provided item, we're going to move that money into the contract as a contractor-provided item for the $101,189.
So moved.
Mr. Booth, seconded by Mr. Schweb. Do we have any board comments?
Just the comment, if Sherwin-Williams lost the contract, was it not awarded to anybody else?
Not for this type of material.
I knew you would look out for the best of us, but I just needed to ask.
Well,
That's a lot of money.
It hurt to move. It hurt to move in that direction.
Yes.
In my mind. But anyway, so if we're done, recommendation.
Is anyone else?
All right, so the recommended action will be to approve a change order request for number one, as required by the Louisiana Fire Marshal's Office in the amount of $35,584, and to add 15 additional days to the contract. Number two, to add waterproofing products to the contract in the amount of $101,189, as per the contract documents. The LaFouche Parish School Board was supposed to purchase the said material.
The only other thing I'm going to ask for, is there any public comment? Okay. If not, we'll go ahead and vote. Passes unanimously. Thank you. Thank you. D, to receive report on HVAC upgrades at BCA as it relates to the construction of the new Thibodeau Middle School and to consider a change order request by LPSD to change out a faulty electrical transformer located in the kitchen storage area.
Okay.
Sir?
Thank you again. Again, the contract amount for this project is currently $1,666,244. As of the last pay request, they were about 84% paid out for that, so we're at the end of the project. There's one little area at BCA that's used as storage. We're waiting for some of that final equipment to come in. But as far as the building being used, obviously it's in use now. So we're going to put that stuff on a punch list. But I think the rest of the school is up and operational. Really, that's the short tweet of that project status. It's essentially completed.
I have a motion with, second from Ms. Bourgeois. Any board comments? Bruce?
No comments. I thought Mr. Plaisance might have something to say.
The transformer, okay, basically what was going on with the transformer, after everything was all said and done, we started moving in, and I walked in there and I heard a loud whistling noise on that transformer. And it was very annoying. And it was very apparent,
It must have been real loud.
You know what I'm talking about. And it was very annoying to me, and I got the electrical engineer in there and electrical contractor, and we noted that the transformer was fixing the field because it happened after an outage. So hurry up and got Mr. Martin. We got the numbers and we got it changed out as quickly as possible. I know this is after the fact, but that was the only way we're going to make opening the school.
Anyone else? Anyone from the public? Any comment? Not, we'll go ahead and vote.
Thank you, Mr. Evans. Thank you, Mr.
Motion carries unanimous. Thank you, Mr. Collins.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Ann.
3, Java Holloway car chairs. We have Mr. David Gobert here. A, to receive a report from David Gobert on the Phase 6 safety project. Gobert?
Good evening. Project is moving along well. We were actually on site at all 3 different sites today. Our meeting, however, for the update in the status report was from last week, so actually some additional progress has occurred since what you'll see here. We don't have any change orders involving this project tonight, so this is basically just for informational purposes and an update on the schedule. Bayou Blue, I don't have it indicated, but I'll tell you it's about 90% complete. The cabinetry is fully installed in the new reception area. The intercom system is installed. The bullet-resistant window frames are installed, and they have the glass, but they're holding that. The reason being, the bullet-resistant doors are a very long lead time item, and they have not received them yet. Had they received them, their contractor would have installed them and the glass at the same time, and they're waiting for that at this time. The flooring is 100% complete. Gates will be installed this week, and they have the posts in place. They have all of the wires pulled for all of the card reader applications and so forth. However, one of the items required in the hardware is a special type of panic hardware that we put on exterior gates. There's only a couple of manufacturers that make them. The one that we have specified is pretty much the best one, and Evan has experience with it. However, that is a very long lead time item. They're thinking it might be another 2 to 3 months before they can get their hands on it. What they're planning to do is have everything prepared for those gates and ready, and all they have to do is put that hardware on and it's installed. But until that point, these campuses will not be secure. So just to let you know, they have no control over it. They're waiting to get the appropriate hardware. HVAC is not complete. Again, and you can ask Robert, he was in the meeting as well. HVAC of all types right now, equipment, is long lead time. We're being told that it's 23 weeks to get some of this equipment. They ordered about 2.5 months ago, so it'll give you an idea of how long they're waiting before they're going to get this material in. Had they had all of their materials in hand, or it was a normal climate, I think they'd be very close to being finished right now, if not finished. But it's all the delays with materials that are holding everything up. Sixth Ward Middle School is about 65% complete. It's 100% blacked in with windows and doors installed in the exterior addition that we did. They were installing the last of the exterior cladding material today on that site. The intercom system is installed. Exterior windows and doors are installed. Gates, again, are in the same place as Bayou Blue. HVAC, they're waiting on delayed material deliveries. Suspended ceilings will be installed after the sprinkler system modification and the HVAC modifications are made. So they're just holding off doing that. Bullet resistive window is installed, and the bullet resistive door has not been delivered to date. So the rose cutoff is also about 65% complete. Cabinets are installed for the new reception area. It's 100% blacked in with the exterior windows and doors installed. They're going to begin installing the exterior cladding probably tomorrow, because they're finishing up at 6th Ward today. The intercom is installed. The gates have not been delivered, just like the other two sites. Again, they're waiting on HVAC equipment. Suspended ceilings will be installed once the sprinkler modification is complete. And just to let you know about the sprinkler, we had a long process with the fire marshal's office getting them to agree with what that sprinkler suppression system had to be. We finally got it confirmed, and everything's been released through the fire marshal's office. However, while we were doing that, Thompson was taking it upon themselves to extend all of the services and get everything ready, where all they needed to do was the actual installation inside the building. So everything exterior was done. And so they made a lot of progress with that, and it's almost in place. Flooring is 100% complete, and the cabinetry is 100% complete at LCO Middle. So that's kind of where we are right now with the project. Like I said, I think if we were in a normal construction climate, they'd be practically finished.
Does anyone have any questions for Mr. Lewis? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, sir.
Four is Jeremy and Bruce. We have Mr. Daniel Bruce here. 8 to receive report from Mr. Daniel Bruce on HVAC renovations at Golden Meadow Upper Elementary. Bruce.
Good evening, everyone. Long time no see.
Yeah.
So Golden Meadow, similar to what David just spoke about, they mobilized the demolition inside the building to get the ceilings out, put fire alarm, fire detectors, cameras back in place, and now we're waiting for air conditioning equipment to come in the next 3 to 5 months or so. So we're basically demobilized from that site until equipment comes in, and that's where we stand. So hurry up and wait. All right.
Have any questions for Mr. Bruce? The report on. So, okay. Move on to B. B, to consider a change order request for temporary off-site storage for the competition gym wood floors for South Loop High School.
Right, so with the complicating factor at the gym where we have to replace the gym roof metal deck, we want to order all the gym floor material. We need a place to store it while that roof is being repaired and replaced. So this is the contractor, so we can lock in the price and get the floor material in. We are recommending that it be stored off-site while we're waiting on that to get done. It's should be no more than 90 days. So this is actually a total of about 90 days worth of storage. So once they get the roof done, they get the floor prep, they can move it over to South High School and put it in. So hopefully this is a max cost. to store it for an intermittent period of time.
Alright, so, just to make sure we understand, we're gonna have to have a motion in a second. We're talking about, adding $3,855 to the contract.
The contract cost, yes.
Okay? Right. Got a motion by Mr. Swift, seconded by Mr. Benoit. Is there any comments? Any board comments? Mr. Swift?
Where's this off-site storage gonna be?
Covington is out of Alabama, so I'm presuming that it's gonna be at their facility in Alabama.
Away from this area?
Away from this area, yes.
I'm good.
It's gonna be in an insured, bonded warehouse, so if anything goes bump in the night wherever it's being stored, the school board will be compensated for that as well. Hopefully nothing like that happens, but
Yeah.
we'll mandate that we get a certificate of insurance for that warehouse wherever it's being stored.
Thank you, sir.
Ready to answer, Mr. Bruce? Anyone else? Anyone from the public? Public comment? Okay. Now we go ahead and vote. Motion carries unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Bruce.
Good evening.
You too, sir. Thank you.
All right, passing on. Good with Utley. We have Mr. Robert Utley here. And we'll go to A. To receive a report on the ADA modifications to the restroom at the 3 high school stadium. Mr. Utley.
Yes, the first item is the ADA modifications. We have three things on this that I need to go over with y'all. They are still working on this project. They are over days, however, and it is due to, well, one was the rain, but maybe in honor of one of your members, we kind of rejected the rain bit because the leading number of days is actually the delay of the doors. So we've got a big delay of doors. The first thing is that we have in your packet is they've got a leaking valve I think it's central, we've got a leak in it, they've got to saw cut it.
We're going to get to that next.
Okay. All right. So anyway, we're gonna, the project is ongoing. There was some issues that have been going on here with delays of equipment and such that we will discuss later. They have applied for some change orders on this, change order on this project for days and time, but we'll go over that. So, but they are ongoing, but we are over time on this project at this time. They have, there are different stages at different schools on it. They've had some difficulty getting in. When it rains when it rains, which we had, 21 days last month, above normal, we're looking at it raining actually in the stadium. It drips from there, and they actually have to slope, because it's ADA stuff, they have to slope concrete away from the step-ups that go into the bathrooms. And so that topping material can't get drips and things put into it, or they're in deep trouble. And they're not just doing small areas, they're doing all the way around the women's bathroom also. So, that's kept them from being able to pour that. They did have central to be poured today, but because of a football game, they put all the cleanouts back down to grade and cleaned it up. And so they've kind of backed up on that one. They're not asking for any change orders on any of that, though. So that's basically where we are on the projects. We're just trying to get things done and get them done with weather.
Robert, you mentioned that they're overtime on the contract.
Yes, sir.
Is there a penalty for that?
Yes, sir, there is. But they do have some extenuating circumstances which we would go over with the delay due to supplies. And some of the other situation is the rain days, but the supplies overrule the rain days. So
We're gonna cover that in just a second.
okay.
All right, does anyone have any more questions from the report from the subject?
This may be covered later, but is there a new estimated date of completion?
Yes, there is.
We'll talk about that later.
All right. Is there anyone else? If not, we'll go to B. To consider a change order request to, number one, replace a leaking water valve at Central Food High School. 2, add 48 additional days to the contract due to delivery delays for the exterior doors. 3, to make electrical repairs at Central Food High School and South Food High School due to unmarked line locations. That's the other.
Well, the leaking water valves occurring at one of the schools at Central, and they want to cut it. We've been requested to cut into the slab and change the valve out. They've already got equipment there for doing it, so it's the easiest way to go. So that one's kind of cut and dry. The 48 additional days are due to door shipments that we haven't been, they're waiting on them to come in. There's 48 additional days for that. So they've requested an extension of 48 days on that. And then on the electrical repairs, we had some wiring that came in at an unknown location in a removed wall that is no longer going back. So we can't actually reuse the line, so we've had to modify the electrical system, and that change order is to take care of that modification of the electrical system. Okay, so we end up with a change order in the amount, I'm getting mixed up with their stuff, oh, here it is. We got y'all stuff and my stuff up here. In the amount of what? No, that is yours. In the amount of what? 5,000 and some change?
$1,222.60.
Right.
So, I'm trying to cut this short. The recommended action would be to approve a change order request. Number 1, replace the leaking water valve at Central Lafourche High School in the amount of $1,125. Number 2, to add 48 additional days to the contract due to delivery delays for exterior doors. And number 3, to make electrical repairs at Central Lafourche High School and South Lafourche High School due to unmarked line locations in the amount of $5,222.60.
We're seconded by Ms. Bourgeois. Any more discussion?
These are the doors that we're waiting on. That's for all 3 sites?
Yes.
Okay.
They're all supposed to come in at the same time, so they'll be all installed. Now, the contractor on his own cost has bought additional doors. They're not the greatest doors in the world. They're 36-inch wide. They meet ADA, and he's going to install them so that the bathrooms can be used during the normal games.
Okay, that's what I thought I heard
He's doing that on his own money.
one of the previous meetings. Okay.
I know we had discussed that last time. He put some temporary doors in to make it right.
He's got to put in some frames because they're 4 foot. They're like a 4 foot opening or 3/2 opening, and so he's going to frame those in and then mount those temporary doors in with some ADA hardware.
That's very generous of it.
So the new completion date is?
The new completion date would be 10/7/22.
7?
Yes, October 7th.
And this is completely finished. New doors, everything, they walk away, it's complete. It's pretty much complete, except a couple of small steps.
Except for doors
And the doors.
Yeah, just
And the
wait,
doors.
mainly wait on the doors. The other stuff's gonna be done.
Considering they'll be able to use these for football season.
And they did ask about rain days and we turned them down because of the length of time of the doors, so. We ought to be fine with that, because it actually overruled any rain days, so.
Everything's good then for the football season. Rest of the
Yeah, so they're
facility
gonna have the
is
doors up.
modified to meet that particular.
They are having some difficulty with the scrimmages going on right now, because they're trying to get the work done. It was delayed by the rain, so. But they're working with us, so.
Anyone else? What's the board?
Just please extend to the contractor how appreciative we are of him putting those temporary doors in to be used.
Right, will do.
That's a few doors.
Yes.
Yeah, it's 4 per site. I'm sorry, Yeah, 4 per site, so we've got 3 sites, so we've got 12 doors he's gonna have to buy and install, and then remove and throw away.
Anyone from the public? If not, we'll go ahead and vote. Carried unanimously. We want to see the receive report from Mr. Robert Update on the condition outside air increase project at Thibodeau Elementary School.
Their contractor is currently waiting on equipment. They actually are also over time. They have not gotten an official ship date, and we will come back with you with that extension date next month, actually. They do expect them to get it at the end of this month on August 29th, is what we're expecting, but they're not positive, and they didn't want to apply for the days until they knew.
We want to D. Anyone have any questions? Questions? Yes. D. To receive report on the third chiller replacement project at South Lafourche High School.
This chiller is coming in, it's another delay of equipment, is coming in on October 2nd, according to the supply. No, it's being shipped on October 7th. So it'll take a week to get here or whatever. But they all are also over days and have not gotten a firm date from that supplier, and they're waiting on that to be able to apply for it. So we'll be applying for a change order in a number of days next month.
Any questions from the board? Move on to E. To receive a report on the generator connection point to be installed at Thibodeau High School.
Okay, we went over this last month. I don't know if y'all remember, but there's a bit of a delay on the electrical equipment for this project. So we're requesting that the project be put on pause, kind of, and not do any more reports in this until we hear this coming in. So this project actually has a 66-week lead time on the equipment at this point.
On panel board. On panel board.
We're seeing that on a lot of the electrical equipment. Some of the critical electrical equipment's got really hideous lead times, and it's gone from a year out to 66 weeks. So we're going to put this one on pause. We won't discuss it next month, but when we hear that it's coming, we'll start it back up.
Anyone have any questions for Mr. Utley on this item? I bet not. Thank you, Mr. Utley.
All righty, thank you.
All right, 6, we have All South. We have Mr. Bob Nord here. A, to receive report from All South on Hurricane Ida damages. Mr. Nord.
Good evening. All right, so permanent repairs under construction. Again, we're not going to read through this list, but every time we meet, we're adding to it. So we have 3 new bids that went out yesterday, and Evan's going to speak on those later. So good participation. I don't want to steal your thunder, but we're getting good news in the market. We had 7 bidders on one project. That was Bayou Blue Building 7, which is, I don't know the last time y'all got 7 bidders, but that's a good sign. And then on the other 2, we had 3 bidders. So we'll speak on those a little bit later. Upcoming bids, always tentative because things can change, but we have 4 upcoming before we meet again next month. All right, major projects. South Lafourche High School, we'll start with that one. I guess in speaking of the projects and where we are, roof leaks are an issue. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. We have 2 projects, South Lafourche one of them, and LCO's the other. And y'all may have gotten wind of some of this, but we're having major issues with leaks at the field house at South Lafourche High School. I guess, looking forward, the good news is I talked to Brent Talbot with LaPerouse today, who's doing that project. That's slated to start temporary dry-in sometime in October. So, we're still, 8 weeks roughly away from that. But in the meantime, he's gonna go out and look at it, do some assessments, and, we need to get a handle on it. You know, that roof was doing okay, but it's been almost a year since it's been put on. And with the amount of rain we've been getting, it's literally like a swimming pool up there, so that's not gonna work. So he's gonna look at it and we're gonna try to get that situation fixed. LCO's another one. Unfortunately, the leaks, we're gonna be chasing those for some times because of material delays on when we're gonna be getting the cover board and the ISO. We talked about this before, y'all heard it. Most of that material won't be coming in until after the 1st. So Laperouse at that school has gotten to a point, pretty much a stopping point. They got the gym done, which is good, 100%, and the library is done. The 2-story classroom building, I think the good news on that one is it's a pretty simple roof to keep dried in. So we should be able to maintain that one. Cafeteria is not bad. So that's in pretty good shape. Bulldog base is a pretty bad one. So that's going to be a constant battle to keep that dried in for, for the next several months. The gyms at the high school, auxiliary gym is still on schedule to finish by November 1st. So he's starting, excuse me, I'm allergies. I promise, it's allergies. If y'all know me well enough, y'all can tell. But anyway, the auxiliary gym is scheduled still to be finished for November 1st. He's going to start the temporary dry in on that roof real soon. Competition gym, he should be starting the deck replacement sometimes in early September, complete by October, end of October, and then start the flooring in November. So competition gym floor should be done around the 1st of the year. Okay. Rest of the roofs, again, lead items, long lead on auditorium, ag building, not until after the 1st of the year. So again, at that school, the rest of the school, the leaks are manageable. We're chasing them constantly. Principals have been great. They understand that this is part of it. Speaking of, designers have met with every principal. Something the superintendent asks that we do, and they achieve that. So every designer met with every principal to give them updates on their projects. And I think they will receive well. So, and they'll continue to do that communication and keep them, in tune in what's going on. Any questions, I guess, on South Lafourche? Okay. Go to middle. This one, we had anticipated this fall starting, but that may not be happening until after the 1st. We're doing single point entry security upgrades at that campus. We're also looking at building 3. That may be a 50%er. Is borderline. And it probably won't be, but we have to do the due diligence and vet it and make sure. So that campus will probably not start until after the 1st. Old Shack Bay, we got that open. Great team effort to accomplish that. Still some bugs that we're working out. Building 4 is added change order. Anticipated completion is sometime in mid-September is what we're looking at. Old Shack Bay. Bayou Buff is another one, single point entry. Probably won't be put out until after the 1st. We have fall right now, but that's going to be pushed back because of the amount of work that's going to be required. Raceland Upper, we're looking at this one to get pricing on a total interior renovation. Spoke last with the superintendent, and we're going to get cost and price to look at doing work at this campus. They'll give it maybe another 20 years of service. It needs it. So we're working on getting price estimates. A lot of this won't be covered by FEMA. So we're going to put budgets together and get that presented to the superintendent, and they'll be upcoming. St. Charles Elementary, same thing with St. Charles as the other campuses, single point entry. Designer has started working on it. They're working with the owner. So that will be put out probably again after the 1st of the year. And then finally, Bayou Blue Elementary, we have the demo contract awarded. Getting ready to start, but we're waiting on a little technicality from FEMA. We got approval on demolition. Kind of funny, they give you approval in writing, but you can't demo. until they come back and give you a secondary review and approval. We're trying to get that expedited. In fact, we have a meeting with them tomorrow at 1 o'clock, I believe, just to talk about this and see what we can do to get them to push this and give us a green light so we can get the contract issued. The contracts are done. We just have to give it back to the contractor to give them the green light to start. So hope to have an answer on Bayou Blue by the end of the week. I think I've covered everything. Any questions?
You talk about building 3 at Golden Meadow Middle. Is that the 2-story annex that you're talking about? Curious.
The building is in, the structure of the building is in pretty good shape. The interior is gutted, obviously, but I believe it's going to be a tough sell to get that one at 50%. FEMA's going to look at it, and I believe we're going to be, fighting to get that at 50 and lose time and resources. So I'm not anticipating that one to be demolished, but we're still going to vet it and make sure.
And you said January for the Golden Middle School is the projected?
Yep. We had it, and designer has started working, so he was anticipating a release of October. But with this building 3 coming up and with single point entry, hitting that date's going to be tough, and then you get into Thanksgiving, Christmas, and then next thing you know, you're in the new year. So, a lot of these campuses that we're looking at, the goal's always been to be 2024, right? So I think, and we looked at this with Evan and designers, we're talking to them, is that we got to hit that drop dead date when we can have schools ready and finished for that August of 2024. So all of these campuses, that's what the goal is in mind. Okay.
Anyone else?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bernard. All right, move on to 7. 8, receive bids for the rebuilding of building number 7 at Bayou Blue Elementary School.
You ready?
Yeah.
Okay. On the August 11th, we opened bids for the Bayou Blue rebuild of building number 7. As you can see, we had 7 bidders. And if you look at their numbers were pretty tight on a $2.5 million job. So the recommended action at this point will be to accept the low bid from Lamar Construction LLC an amount of $2,568,000 for the rebuilding of building number 7 at Bayou Blue Elementary School.
Move. I have a motion by Mr. Boozer, seconded by Ms. Boozler. Is there any board comment?
This is only $3,000 above budget.
Yeah.
Nice. It's pretty impressive.
That's
I mean, consider.
nice to see all the bidders in
Yeah.
line and not 1 or 2 being so out there. It's getting to be
It was a
realistic.
good feeling
Yeah.
Yes.
to open that one up.
We have issues with Jim on it, but we sure did get a price to do it. All right. Anyone else?
Did we get permission to go in from the highway yet?
Mr. Ray, were you able to sign that agreement?
On a lot of things.
Oh,
And I'm sure that was one of them.
all
Thank
right.
you, sir.
All right. They gave us permission. See? Good. Yeah. All right, very good. All right. Anyone else? Any more comments from the board? Any public comment? Seeing none, we'll vote. Very unanimous. Thank you. D, to receive bids for hurricane repairs at Lockport Middle School and Rayson Middle School.
There again, on August 11th, we opened the bids up for this project. We had 3 bidders, Grandal Shipyards, Tosh LLC, and Cotton Commercial. And so the recommended action, well, let me just say this. If you look at those bids, $1,610.30, I think it was the difference between the high and the second one. That's tight.
Yeah.
So the recommended action at this time would be to accept the low bid from Grand Isle Shipyard in the amount of $1,460,335.40 of the base bid plus alternate number 1 for the Hurricane Ida permanent repairs at Lockport Middle School and Raceland Middle School.
Motion by Mr. Menard,
Okay.
seconded by Mr.
I
Swift.
see.
Any board comment? Any board comment? All right. I'd like to say one thing. We have some bids on it. It's a positive. Last time we did this, there were none. Yeah, I think we have one.
There were a couple of them, yeah.
Okay. So, it's good to see bids. All right, anyone else?
I have a question.
Yes, go.
What was the, architecture's, price? Do you know that? Just, you know.
Let me see.
So,
He doesn't have it on here. Bob, you don't remember the, domain's price on that? It's pretty close.
yes.
1.2, which they did, they went halfway between RS meetings and basic place.
Yeah.
And then, the 40%, 35%, which some designers are doing, they went in between that. So if you take the 35 to 40%, it would have been right at budget, or right at that little bit.
Okay, all right, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any public comment? If none, we'll go ahead and vote. Motion carries unanimous. Thank y'all. C, to receive a report on bids received for Hurricane Ida repairs to LaFouche High School and South LaFouche High School athletic field.
Yeah. On the 12th, we opened the bids up. We received 3. Grand Isle Shipyards, Cotton LLC, and Tosh. Grand Isle Shipyard is the low bidder. We're waiting on contracts to be drawn up and assigned by the contractor. And once they sign the contracts, they'll send them to us. We'll get Mr. Martin to sign on them, and we're going to get the project moving as quickly as possible. If you remember correctly, the board gave Mr. Martin the ability to sign on behalf of the athletic fields and asbestos work a couple of months ago. So we're just following suit with this. And as you can see, the low bid was for $2,465,058.91. You're tongue tied already.
So we received 3 bids. Okay. And this one item was separated by literally $1,100. And even the highest bidder was only 200,000 above.
Yeah, really.
It was 3 solid bids, and thanks Grand Isle Shipyard for bidding on something like this for us and take care of it. Alright? So that's just a report on that one, because again, we have handed that one off to him already. Steve, anyone have any questions?
Just a comment.
Go ahead.
Please get it done as soon as possible, so our email inbox won't be all cluttered up with those emails. And I'm just being facetious, and I answered them all and told them we were all expecting the work to be done by January 1st for those baseball fields. They can't start practice until probably a week afterwards or something like that. But, I mean, as soon as we can, get those kids.
We will move on this as quickly as possible, barring any delivery delays with materials. I mean, we have to put that in the equation.
I would imagine nylon netting will be one of them, we believe. All right. Anyone else? Okay. We'll move on to D. To receive bids received for wastewater treatment services and take the appropriate action. Mr. Byers.
Yes, good evening. Just requesting permission to award the lowest, most responsive and responsible bidder, which would be Scott Waste Stream Services. And this is for wastewater treatment services for a 3-year contract. The total cost for all 3 years is $29,657.
Alright.
It's nothing compared to the millions we've been talking about.
We need,
Yeah, so
Smith. Need a second, Dominic Bouba. Is there any board comments? Any public comments? If not, we'll go ahead and vote. Motion carries unanimous. E, to receive a report from lead accountant, Shasta Shasta, in reference to ongoing project budget.
For our 2017 construction bond, for one of our projects, we paid invoices in July of $94,126. And then for our 2021 bond, we had 2 projects that we paid invoices for of $2,786,304.
Thank you, Ms. Shasta. Anyone have any questions for Ms. Shasta? If there's no further business, our meeting is